Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I would like to talk about food tracking and how I'm actually tracking my food while being on my weight loss journey. First of all, a disclaimer: in this video I'm gonna be talking about calorie counting, and I know for many people it's a very triggering topic, so in case you are one of those people, please do not watch this video. So as a person who spent years, practically most of my adult life, while trying to lose weight, I'm already aware of food tracking and calories counting as a tool, and I did it for many years. As of now, I do count my calories, but I do not do it regularly, and there are reasons for that. First of all, I don't think that I need to track them every single day because it can make me a little bit obsessed. Secondly, because I have so many years of counting the calories, of getting aware of the amount of calories certain food has, that sometimes I need just to look on the plate, and especially if I'm using the products and meals that I'm eating regularly, I already know the amount of calories there, so I don't need to calculate it and count that because I already know the number. Also, I would like to mention that I do have binge eating / emotional eating episode, but in my case they do not make it worse. I mean, counting calories doesn't make it worse, because the reason why my binge eating or emotional eating episodes happening, it's mostly connected with restriction. And once I have this black and white thinking, once I start demonizing food or kind of restricting myself, even though I'm not physically restricting myself, I'm still eating certain type of food, but at the same time I kind of mentally restricting myself, it already a strong trigger for me. So my idea around binge eating, it's connected with restriction, but it's not connected with counting calories. So counting calories, I think it's a very good tool. Again, I'm using it quite regularly, not every single day, but quite regularly, especially if I have some new products or new meals that I'm not aware of, or maybe I'm kind of making something bigger that can be separated in portions for me. Then in this case I do put everything in online calculator because it helps me to kind of be aware of the amount of food I'm eating. As of now, I'm using my fitness app, and I've been using this application for many years already, and kind of that's why I keep using that. I know that it can be, it probably not the most precise application, but for me it's not so critical, even though the calorie counting will be off to 10 or 20% sometimes. Because again, I'm very familiar with this application. I've been using it before, it helped me before, and I already have a good database of my personal meals there, so it definitely works for me. Also, I would like to talk a little bit about protein and fiber. Over a year ago, I also started tracking protein and fiber because I already know that it's important. And in order to improve my health and probably also contribute to my weight loss, because we know in case we eat a lot of protein and a lot of fiber, it creates more satiety, so you're kind of not overeating. And I kind of agree, but once I started tracking my protein and fiber, it kind of became more complicated. It was harder to make my meals, and I felt that I started getting more obsessed around protein, especially. I was trying to put it everywhere, and I think it was not very good for me. So as of now, I'm not tracking my protein and fiber. Still, once I'm planning my meals, I still keeping in mind that protein and fiber are important, but I no longer use application for tracking it because I think it doesn't work for me. So when we talk about tracking my food, counting my calories with the help of an online calculator, MyFitnessPal in my case, I have kind of two rules in this case. First of all, I'm tracking my food, I'm counting my calories only after eating. I'm not doing it before. Before, actually, I was doing opposite. First of all, I put everything on the plate, I will use scale, I will know exact the amount of food I'm eating, and only after, once everything is ready, I'm kind of eating that. But I think, again, it's not so healthy for me, this kind of type of mentality. So what I'm doing now, first of all, I eat. Even though approximately I already know the weight of products because I weigh them. I do have kitchen scale and I use them almost every single day. But I put data into my online calculator only after eating. It feels kind of better for me. And even though sometimes it can be more, or sometimes I can eat more food that I should have eaten, or maybe less. So I'm not getting dramatic about that, just I understand that probably next time I should add more of this type of food or exclude something in order kind of to hit my target. Also, there is no perfection in my calorie counting. And as I told in some of my previous videos, my plan is kind of stable, but at the same time flexible. So because I'm tracking calories for a long time, and for over a year ago, I started also paying more attention to my hunger level, to my satiety levels, to the periods of my life when my hunger is higher or low. I don't have exactly the same amount of calories every single day. In the past, when I started, once I calculated a certain range of calories that I need to consume in a day, I was trying to stick to those goals. So I was trying to eat every single day the same amount of calories, but it actually didn't work for me. I couldn't stick to that because, again, on some days I was more hungry, on some days less hungry, so it felt like I'm forcing something. I remember later I learned about this zigzag calorie counting, when on certain days you eat kind of a few hundred calories more than you should, on other days you eat a few hundred calories less than you should. So eventually you're kind of having this balance, you are hitting it. And again, I tried it too, and I think I even like it more, but still it was kind of forcing because I do not know how my hunger will be on Tuesday or on next Friday or something like that, because it depends on so many factors. And because now I know myself better, I'm kind of more aware of my hunger levels. I understand that there are some reasons why my hunger can be lower or higher. For sure, it depends on my month cycle. Again, naturally, on some days I want to eat more carbs, more sugar, more salty food. On some days I feel no hungry at all and I can have only maybe one meal a day even, or two big meals. And I also noticed that in winter my hunger is kind of higher. In summer, especially on hot summer days, my hunger can be way lower and I feel like I just want to drink more water, but I don't want to eat that much. So again, it's not something that you can plan. It's not something that you can always take into account. Also, there are some additional daily factors, like sometimes I have more stress at work, sometimes maybe I couldn't sleep well last night, and all of that contributes to my hunger. Again, it's not something that I can predict. That's why even though I do have a general guideline, kind of the approximate amount of calories I need to use, I'm not sticking to it every single day, because again, on some days I eat beyond that, on some days I eat less, and again, it depends on so many factors. And overall, I'm having my balance. So probably if we look at every single day, I'm kind of not sticking to my calorie goals, but if we look at the whole week and probably better even the whole months, then I am sticking to my goals. I'm having the amount of calories I need to consume, so at least it works for me now. And why I think it works for me now, because in the past, again, I had the experience of losing quite a lot of weight, but eventually I gained it back, and I gained it back quite fast. Now, as of now, I'm more or less stable for more than a year, and even though I'm losing weight really slow, that's kind of the point of all this new transformation that I'm having. I'm losing weight really slow. Still, for the time when I started paying more attention to weight loss, and we are talking about the beginning of November, and now we almost at the end of January, so I lost approximately 10 kilograms over this period of time. And I was not forcing it, I was not especially strict with my calories, I was not tracking it every single day, but I was still able to be in the place where I am right now. just because of this kind of flexibility. Again, I do have the guidelines, I do have the direction in which I want to go, but they are not strict, they are flexible, they are changing. I'm not eating exactly the same type of food every single day. I'm not eating the exactly same amount of calories every single day. I don't have exact the amount of meals every single day. So even though it feels like kind of chaotic, if we look on the bigger picture, like 1 month, for example, I do have my balance and I am sticking to my goals. Another way how I'm tracking my food beyond calorie counting, it's a so-called plate method. And the idea is, once you're putting food that you're going to eat in that particular part of the day on the plate, it's like how of that plate supposed to be for veggies, 1/4 is for protein and 1/4 for carbs. And I'm trying to stick to that. Again, it's not perfect. Sometimes veggies can take a bit more than a half or less than a half. Again, it's not critical. Sometimes food is kind of combined. Quite often I cook chicken together with veggies, so it's kind of already together combined. Still, it's very easy to track. Again, you just put your plate, you just put everything on that plate, and you already see approximately how much what group of food is taking, and it also worked very well for me. In this way, I'm still aware of my of what I'm eating, but I also kind of following these more healthy guidelines. So again, it works for me. So counting calories and using this plate method helped me a lot because it gives me awareness of what I'm eating. It helps me to understand what are the periods when I'm eating more or eating less, and what can I do in order to find kind of my balance. And it kind of helped me to find the way to my goals, but without forcing it and without feeling like I'm kind of suffering. Another thing that also helps me to reach my goals in terms of food tracking, it's so-called CBT type of tracking. So because I do have binge eating / emotional eating episodes, I do work in that direction too, and I'm using CBT or even CBTE method right now. And I have a journal when I'm putting the level of my hunger from 1 to 10, level of my satiety, level of fullness, also in case I had some cravings or kind of binge urges. I'm also trying to see what was the trigger, what was the emotion that probably pushed me to have that trigger, that urge. And also I'm again trying to kind of make a big picture, full picture of that. Again, I'm not tracking my hunger or my satiety level every single day, but I do want to kind of do it regularly. I'm trying. I have a special journal for that when I'm kind of putting those numbers, and it really helps me because when I see what are the main emotions, what are the main triggers that push me to have those emotional eating episodes, for example, or what are periods of day when I have kind of higher hunger level, what are the season for that, as I mentioned, what are different periods of months. It kind of gives me more precise, bigger picture of my eating patterns. So it helps me to understand in which direction I can work, what I can do to find even better balance, and so on. Also, I'm trying to be more aware of my emotional and physical hunger, kind of separate them, understand how it feels in my body. Again, what are the triggers for my emotional eating. So for this reason, CBT journaling helps a lot. So kind of the two things that I definitely no longer doing in terms of tracking my food, it's first of all not tracking during emotionally intense weeks. And sometimes if I have something that happened in my personal life, or maybe I have more responsibilities at my work at the moment, if I have those strong emotions, when I have maybe more stress in certain days, maybe weeks, or those days I'm not tracking my calories, I'm not tracking my food at all, because I think it's not gonna help me, and I know it based on my previous experience. And kind of my second rule, that there is no rules, no strict rules, it's practical what I said. I do not eat exactly same food every single day, not exactly the same type of food, not the same exactly amount of calories, but I still have my balance, just again in a little bit wider, bigger picture. So especially when we talk about calorie counting, I would like to mention that for me, calorie counting gives me freedom. And once I start feeling that counting calories start feeling like control over what I'm eating, I'm stopping that, because I know already from my experience it doesn't work for me. Once I'm starting getting too obsessed with this, once I'm starting to kind of pay too much attention to numbers, I think it's already not good for me. This feeling of control, it's kind of something that eventually brings me to the place when I have no control. But if it gives me this feeling of freedom, I know I'm in the right place. And the way I understand freedom in this particular context, that I'm free to eat whatever I want. I have no black and white thinking. I have no food that I'm demonizing. And I'm only following certain guidelines. I already know that probably more protein, more fiber will be better for me, and not eating too much sugar will be also good for me. But if I want, I have this freedom to eat whatever I want, how much I want, any time of the day. And even though I do track it, I still have this feeling of freedom. And as long as I have this freedom feeling, it works for me. So again, thank you for staying here with me in this short video. In case you also tracking your food and you have some good workable tools that help you, please share them in the comments below, because again, the more tools we have, the easier it is for us to reach our big and ambitious goals. Thank you for staying here with me, and I will see you in the next video.